welcome to your reading. So, I didn't necessarily have a specific intention going into this reading, just whatever this particular collective needed to hear. So let's go ahead and see what your spirit guides want to share with you. And I found it so interesting that the two oracle cards that came out over here were Root and Harvest. So there is this energy of growth coming through. And with the Three of Cups showing up here in this reading and this kind of growth energy, this reminds me a lot of a reading I posted on my TikTok, or at least filmed for my TikTok right before I filmed this one. So I'll link that down below if you're interested in following me over there. But the very main card is the Page of Wands in reverse. So whenever you have pages, there's kind of this like novice or beginner energy. They're not a total novice, so think of it more like a college freshman rather than like a high school freshman or somebody starting elementary school. So you have a little bit of experience in some particular field under your belt, but you know that you want to move forward with something in particular. Or maybe you're at this point where you don't really know what you want to move forward in. So you know that you want to move forward, you know you want to grow, you know you have things that you're meant to do, but you're not really sure how to get there or even necessarily like what it is that you do want to do. With the Root card showing up for this, I kind of like how the legs are even showing up in the, I don't know, like shape of a heart. So I really feel like getting to know yourself and connecting to the core of you, rooting down into your own personal existence, like I think that will help you in general. And I'm even being reminded of this message that came through on my Instagram. I'm trying not to I usually don't hawk all of my different platforms, but I will link all of those down below because maybe these readings are all connected. But you know, what would you do if you weren't scared what anyone else would think of you? Like really, at the end of the day, what would be so fun and exciting to you that you would wake up happy every day to experience it? Even if, you know, and if nobody would judge you, everyone would think this was the coolest thing and support you and pay you all the money. Like, what would you want to do? And it doesn't even have to be something that makes you money. Like this could be something that you just do for fun. But like, what is it that you feel like your energy or like how you like to create or how you like to express yourself? What out of all the different things that you've seen, do you think you could do and would be fun to you? And with the Three of Cups showing up in reverse on your personal side, counter to the advice that I had in the other video, I don't think this is something that somebody else will be able to like tell you what it is, or again, the people around you may not even quite like see your vision at first. But with the Harvest card showing up here, I do think this is something that you can like work on and will grow and ultimately end up being to, again, just like provide for you. So for some people, if you really are wanting to move forward with like a business opportunity, I do think that you would be able to support yourself with this. Again, you may not know exactly what this is in the future, but you do have it just like written in your cards that you will be able to be like an independent business owner or, you know, service provider or practitioner, like whatever label you want to put on it. Like I do think you will be able to do this and have your own company or do it on, you know, without the assistance of somebody else. And I'm kind of almost getting like artist vibes from this, not necessarily in the traditional form for some people, but really with this energy of like you have a very particular way of doing something that I think the energy of other people would affect in some way. So you really being able to like tap into your essence and like serve this up in whatever way resonates with you, I really think that is where a lot of this magic is going to happen. And on the external side here, you have the Queen of Wands in reverse with the Test card showing up upright. And it's interesting that you are kind of represented by this Page of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Queen of Wands, which is like a later evolution of that wand energy, also in reverse on the external side. So I've had this message come through for kind of myself and for other people too, where it's like the thing that you are ultimately going to fall into may not necessarily be something that somebody else has done before. So it's almost like there aren't many other examples to follow for some of what you're doing. But also too, I think you may have a Queen of Wands who has been a negative influence on you in the past, where again, maybe you know what you want to do, but even when I said like, what would you do if no one would laugh at you? You know, you had this thing pop up, but you were like, oh no, not that. Like, you won't even allow yourself to do this because potentially a very strong mother or maternal influence, or a really strict teacher, somebody who has a strong feminine presence and is very like authoritative in your life, or shows up in a way where she does have authority over you. Or even for some people, just like a really outspoken, possibly wounded friend from a young age. But with the test card here, I kind of feel like your spirit guides had this be a test for you in some way, almost to like make it so that when you came back to it, it did feel that resonant, or it felt, I don't know, a little bit more like an accomplishment. Kind of what I'm hearing is that this thing almost comes so naturally to you. That's one of the reasons why this person criticized you or critiqued you for it, is because they were jealous of you, or in some way like trying to bring out your best, where I know some parents can be very harsh and critical because they're like, no, I just want to see them strive or whatever. But yeah, something about this whole situation has, I think, been very trying and testing for you. But I do think too, it's like once you pass through it, like you are through it. So once you do get through that uncomfortable, we'll say part of the psyche, like the mental part, the kind of like wounded part of you, or the wound, once you are able to like address and heal through this wound that this person created, I do think it is going to be really good for you and just healing in a lot of ways. And I feel like your psyche, like your general psyche, is going to feel just a little bit more like put together, a little bit more stable. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way. There was one experience I had one time where I got an acupuncture session, and you know, as an energy practitioner, I feel like my energy flow is like pretty good for the most part. But oh my God, like the whole next like week after this session, like I could just feel my internal energy like flowing better. And it's just like everything just felt easier in some way. So I kind of feel like this will be that for you. So once you can push past that, I do think things are going to feel a lot easier. Yeah, especially with this Nine of Swords in reverse on the bottom of the deck too, that's definitely tapping into that like anxiety that we were talking about. So it's like really this person created this little like floating figure around you. And for some people too, there could even be like a negative entity attachment who is kind of feeding off of the negative energy that this person put on you, or kind of started. It's almost like the specific type of anxiety that this person created for you. It's like this entity loves that specific flavor. It may prod that kind of often for you in order to like feed off of that. So I'm going to do a little bit of Reiki right now in order to just kind of remove him. And really specifically, the thing that I'm hearing is to put like a bitterant in your anxiety. So kind of what they do for video games so kids won't eat them. I'm going to put a really nasty, tart, just like bitter, acrid kind of flavor around that anxiety, so that anytime a entity does try to feed off of it, they're not interested, they're going to leave you alone, and that just won't be a thing that pops up anymore. And anytime you feel called to strengthen this, or you feel like maybe it has come back, feel free to watch this video again, or this particular part. And we're going to set that intention together. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of building up a little energy ball here with my intention and that specific flavor. Again, I love how energy work happens. There is a lot of fun to it. And then I'm sending that energy ball up to you through the screen. And all you have to do to receive is simply just keep watching or allow yourself to receive. If you don't want to receive, you don't have to. Not everyone is into Reiki, but that is a part of my practice. And I did feel called to do that right now. All right. And I'm also gonna just pull off any negative energy. Particularly, I'm seeing kind of like this cottony energy. So it's almost like if this little entity around you has like I don't know, almost kind of like how spiders create webs and then they turn into cobwebs. Like, I feel like there is just some kind of like cobwebby energy around you. So we're removing that, which may also have been contributing to feeling a little sluggish. And so I'm compressing all that negative energy now down into like a bright diamond, kind of like you do for coal. Again, I just kind of follow what I see and then describe that to you guys. So kind of with all of this negative energy, or kind of like all that stagnancy that did accumulate through you, your energy guides are turning this into like a golden opportunity for you. Yay. Okay. So it's like really pointedly, it wants me to talk about this. So it's like a really bright white, kind of with like a blue tinge to it, almost like shining platinum or something, kind of just like diamond. Very clear all around, but it's like very white inside, so there's almost like an outer layer with like this glowing center. I don't know, maybe this will be a visual intuition test, so if you kind of see something similar to that in your mind's eye or something, I don't know, maybe a diamond or those colors may end up being significant for different people. But yeah, okay, so there we go. Let me go ahead and seal all of that off. I feel like too, oh, okay, I get it. I'm gonna put that kind of like really bright diamond just in your auric field, so it'll almost act like, I don't know, just like a lighthouse, but in a way that keeps away all those negative entities, since that light is gonna be just a little bit bright. Okay. All right, there we go. So we've got that, and then the other card on the bottom of the deck is Chaos. So it kind of showed up upright when I first saw it, but I was drawn to put it in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like especially with this, it's like the chaos of your mind is going to be dissipating. Whoops, let's keep this upside down. This card was in reverse too, so it is talking about overcoming this, to repeat myself a little bit. So yeah, I think your mental chaos is going to dissipate as well. And I feel like too, with that, your life is going to feel a lot less chaotic. And it's kind of like that as within, so without. Our mind creates our experiences, and it's not so much that like you are responsible for all of the chaos around you, but sometimes when we have just like a little bit too much on our plate, if we didn't necessarily have the best blueprints growing up, so if our parents would be a little chaotic or they would become very frazzled, it just kind of taught us from a young age what to do. Even if we don't necessarily agree with that, we just don't necessarily have a different framework or just like, again, blueprint or script to go off of. But I do feel like you may be, like, especially with Psyche and the Nine of Swords showing up here, even if you don't go to like therapy per se, which I know isn't accessible to everyone, including myself right now, there are a lot of really good resources on YouTube, and I think there could be like a good framework or something out there that could help as well with some of this deep-seated, we'll just say energy. Because I feel like from this, there was kind of just like this was something that happened over a long span of time. Especially if it was like a parent, this could have been, you know, your whole childhood. For some people, this could have been a friendship that lasted for multiple years. But yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. And even one of those last things that I started tapping into was like kind of giving you like a new framework. And the thing that I almost said was like giving you new vocabulary, where having the words to put to things can help just provide, again, more nuance to your experience. And I think too will help, just in general, help you become more well-spoken. You will have a greater ability to articulate your exact experience, which I think too will help with your feeling, which I think will also help with your ability to feel connected to the people around you, which is also a thing that I think unfortunately is a thing that anxiety, or specifically social anxiety, takes away from us, is our ability to feel safe or comfortable with like the people around us. And with the Patience card showing up here, especially with the Queen of Swords. Like, do be patient with yourself as you go through this process. It's almost like if you had this like negative Queen of Wands for such a long time, it'll take a fair amount of time with this positive Queen of Swords in order to be able to work through this. But I do think it is going to happen for you, especially since these cards here represent like the ultimate lesson or purpose behind why this combination of cards came out for you. So I do think the reason why you are here is they do want you to heal ultimately. But they do also want to call your attention to the fact that it will take time to kind of process all of these things out. All right, and you've got planetary return, Taurus showing up kind of sideways, and water. These two came out sideways, so I'm just going to read all of them upright. And these three cards all kind of popped out of the deck when I was shuffling. So planetary return in Taurus with a water energy. So you're coming back to... Yeah, so planetary return is coming back to something cyclicality, homecoming, and progress. Taurus in particular is tactile, grounded, and stable. I am also a Taurus. Hello. And water is refreshing, mysterious, and fluid. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is about kind of like pleasure and aesthetics and beauty and touch. And so water is, to me, also has this kind of like fluid feminine energy to it. So I think with this planetary return, you may be reconnecting with your divine feminine in some way, shape, or form, which would make sense here with that kind of like wound showing up, where you may have wanted so desperately to not become this person that you may have kind of cut off the parts of yourself that, I don't know, is mirrored by this person in some ways. Like, again, for some people, if this is a parent, you know, you do have positive traits from your parent as well, even if they are very hard to find through all of the negatives. And even for like friendships and stuff, you know, there was a reason we were drawn to that person to begin with, and we shouldn't beat ourselves up over having that connection when it was that other person's fault ultimately for becoming that negative Queen of Wands. So there we go, that's your reading. So thank you so much everyone who stuck around to the end of this video. If you would like to leave a like, comment, subscribe, any of that fun stuff, it all really helps my channel out a lot. And if you are interested in any of the decks that I used in this reading, they are all available on my website and will be linked down below. If you would like a personal reading with me, or a Reiki session, or a palm reading, or any of the other various things that I offer, those are also available on my website, which will be linked down below. So yeah, if you have any other questions for me, do not hesitate to leave me a comment or reach out to me through my website. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.